The Knicks were down only by 3 at 76-73 with about 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, and then, Alan, it was lights out.
Yeah, its talent takes over at that point, and, you know, the Knicks just don't have an answer right now defensively. This is unbelievable. So I checked, so it's been now 12 games since they held an opponent under, never mind 100, 110. Well, let's go with that. So you have that. 130 points allowed in regulation. That's only the second time this season. So it's already twice this season that's happened. 130 points. I mean, I know the NBA is about a lot of offense, but this is starting to get ridiculous. And I know that David Fizdale has been trying to work on ways that they can control this, but it just seems to be a thing now every single night, Swin. And defense that's effort more than anything, isn't it? I mean, offense, you're going to have nights where you're not shooting well, not enough talent. But defense is an area where this group is going to have to start looking in the mirror and making a decision to be better.
Yeah, and the beginning of the show, we actually talked about it in the pregame. And I said, you have to have the ability to have defense to your defensive principles for your defensive schemes. And I didn't see that throughout this game. Like, I couldn't tell you what they were taking away. That's the biggest thing for me. If you're a young team and you're trying to build, there has to be one thing that you do well on a nightly basis. And I haven't seen that yet from the Knicks. So I understand why it can be frustrating at times for Fizdale. But when you come in, let's say, for example, if you're going to double team Embiid, then that means you're trying to take him away, right? So you want to do that as efficient as you can, day in and day out, the whole 48 minutes. But it didn't seem that they were able to do that. So then you get frustrated, and it's like, okay, we're not guarding a pick and roll right. We're not rebounding right. And it just becomes a snowball effect. They have to get some defensive principles they can take into every game and say, this is what we're going to do well. And even if everything else goes wrong, on a nightly basis, we're going to defend the pick and roll better. Or we're going to make sure our double teams are set better. And I didn't see that tonight. And that's the one thing that I can say with this young team, that over the next course of the season, a month, 2 months, they have to get better in that area.
You also have to figure out, as you said, what your personnel, though, has to have that identity, where if we're going to press or be like that kind of high-tempo defensive team, you have to have those types of athletes. If you're going to be, you know, more of a physical team, you have to have those types of athletes. And I think what they have right now, because you're going through an evaluation process, is you have so many different types of players. I don't think you can find that one identity. That's, you know, that part I think is the issue. Not really having a shot blocking presence back there with Mitchell Robinson staying out, and obviously Porzingis still out as well. Cantor's not that guy. Cornette at times can be that guy. So I do think you're just missing a lot of that, and you really don't have the same type of players to say, this is our identity. So I think that's part of the process of building a roster is, what do we want to be? Now find players that fit that identity.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And also keep in mind, Philadelphia was imposing their will physically. We saw that a number of times by Ben Simmons. For this young team, when I talk about coming in every single game and having that one thing that you do well, a lot of times defense, it's not about how talented you are. It's not about how fast, how quick. At times it is when it's one-on-one matchups. But if you're in help side defense and you're supposed to be in help side defense every single time, if you're supposed to double at a specific time every time, then that's what coaches are looking for. When you're talking about evaluating players in a team, I'm evaluating those small things. I already know what your talent is. I know what your talent level is. We know on the team who can shoot the basketball. But can you do those small things that I know I can grind into you day in and day out and make you become a better player? That's when coaches start separating the average players from the players that have the potential to be great.
And also players that you start to trust.
Yes.
Because you know, like you just said, that they're consistent. Every game, I trust that he will be in the spot he's supposed to be in. That's also part of the evaluation.
You know, on most nights, Knicks score enough points to win.
Yeah, they do.
They really do.
They average almost 110 points a game.
And they had 105 tonight, and Tim Hardaway Jr., actually 109 points tonight, and Tim Hardaway Jr. came back and really shot the ball well, 26 points despite the one-game layoff.
Listen, that was a veteran stepping in and saying, even with an injury, I am going to play as hard as I can. He looked really good early on, Allen. I love the bounce in his steps. And Tim recognized, look, they're going to run me off the three-point line, so I'm going to get to that mid-range game because I know I can have success. I can jump over top, or I can get to the rim. I liked how he was moving early on.
And I like this. See the 10 for 10?
Yes.
Getting to the foul line, which was something for him early in the season that he was doing. He was trying to get into attack mode and not settle for jumpers as the planter became an issue for him, which we didn't really know about. And we were wondering, boy, he's taking a lot of jumpers now. We don't see him getting to the basket. Well, now we know why. He couldn't. But in this game, he was drawing those fouls. And 10 for 10 from the line, that's an easy way to get to 27.
All right, another bright spot, Kevin Knox. 6th straight game with at least 15 points. Allen, he went for 21. Another excellent first half for him. He had 14 of the 21 in the first half.
Another strong first quarter for him as well, which I thought is very important. He's getting off to good starts, and that's a very positive thing, as he is now starting to establish himself as a guy that definitely can get points. Looks for his shot, as we know. Made 4 of his first 6. Shot the ball very well in that first quarter. Now in the second half, and this is a part of the growth process for him, Swin, I think, is going to be the consistency now, is carry over that good start and have a good finish. His second half was 2 of 6, only 7 points, where he's you get 14 in your mind. You were square. You had to think, if I got 14 at the half, I could probably get close to 30 now in this game, right? Aren't you thinking that way?
You're thinking to stay aggressive. Maybe not so much the points all the time, but in his mind as a young player, one of the things that I've seen him try to do better, like each and every game, is his shot selection.
Yeah.
I saw today he had better shot selection, which a lot of it was coming off of Tim Hardaway Jr. getting inside, kicking it to him. Moutier hit him a couple times for a few shots. As he gets comfortable with the players that are on his team, he'll realize when I have to be aggressive to the basket and when I can stay out because I have that three-point shot, and this is a way that I can contribute. That's the biggest thing for him right now, is figuring out not only who I'm playing with, but what are my strengths and how do I bring that to the game and not try to not so much go above and beyond, but not try to overdo it so much. Because a lot of times the younger players, like you were talking about, we're forcing it, you're forcing it and overdo it, and you worry about offense, and then that affects your defense.